Hello everybody, this is Drmcbrick and I am here with the first set in a series of modification mocks slash sets that I am going to build. Now, I'm going to build the 1996 Western sets. That's right, there are some classics in that series. As a matter of fact, the whole series is a classic. And myself and my 3 children who were little at the time, we had a couple of these sets, and this was the main set. This was the big set that we had during that time period. And so it brings back so many memories. And I thought what I would do is build each one of these Western sets as is, and then show them to you as is, and then flip it and build modifications onto it. Because each one of these sets, they were great, but they also had a lot of space and stuff to build some mocks and some modifications within the sets. So that's what I'll be doing in this series. You know what? I don't know how many people will be interested in something like this, but for me, I am interested in it, and that's what matters, because I love these sets. It brings back so many memories with my my older kids, who are all adults now and have their own kids. Anyway, this is set 6761, the Abandoned Gold Mine, I think is what it was called, or something like that. But it is a wonderful set. It comes in at 238 pieces, and like all of those sets back then, they opened up and they told the story. And the story here is Flatfoot Thompson and his gang of bandits are on the loose. Will the sheriff and the soldiers from Fort Legoredo be able to stop them? With building sets from the Lego System Wild West collection, only you, the Lego Maniac, can determine what will happen in the old Wild West. And you see all of these great pictures, all of these great scenes, and what they do on the box art here is just fabulous. And I just love this classic box art, and the fact that as a kid, and as my kids, I remember, and even me when I was younger, the sets had windows, and these were like windows to heaven, to be quite honest, because you would see, now this is a used set, so you see they're all in bags and stuff, but normally they would have certain pieces displayed in these windows. And so you would open this box up and you would sit there and you would see what you are going to be able to build and play with. And as a kid, this was just absolutely fabulous. My kids loved it. I loved it back when I was an adult, but I loved it back in my day too. Back in the 70s when I was a kid, they used to have the windows on the boxes as well. Here's what the back looks like. And you could see that on everything, they were really pushing the Lego Club. And at this point, the Lego Club was, you could send in your stuff and they would give you a membership and all that kind of cool stuff. So even on the sides, I mean, even on the sides of the boxes, there is box art. So with that said, let's get started. So I open it up and I find all of this. Now, I honestly don't know if this was the original, these were the original bags that everything came in. But look, all these pieces are in little bags. I mean, this seller was really phenomenal in terms of leaving every little piece and every little detail. Look at that, just for the signs and everything, all the printed pieces, every little detail is in the bag. There's all the guns and all the weapons and everything. That is just awesome. I gotta tell you, you know, for getting a used set, this is a pretty cool used set in terms. And look at this underneath here, and there is a wow. Hold on a second here. There, wow, isn't that great? Look at this. The seller put. Now see, this is a good seller. This is a good seller. They wrapped every individual piece and lot, and then they put it. Here's the manual, and then of course there is. Wait a minute. Under here is all of the stuff that came with it. So there is the ads and all that kind of stuff. Oh, we're gonna have to look at those. We're gonna have to look at those. And then of course there is this awesome base plate, the coveted Western curved base plate. Wouldn't it have been cool if they'd have done Western straight pieces? Look at that, and that is in really good shape. So I am excited. Oh my gosh, look at that, not even hardly nary a scratch. Wow. All right. Well, I'm excited. Let's get started. Okay, so remember how I was so gaga and excited about this set and saying how perfect it was? Well, I take that back. First of all, it's real dirty. Let's look at some of this dirt down here. Look at that base plate. It's filthy. So yeah, that is a coveted after base plate, but it's going to have to be washed and cleaned and everything like that. Second of all, although the pieces that are here are in good condition. I mean, like for instance, look at Dewey. I mean, he is a very, very nicely, he's been kept well, that sort of thing. But there were 21 missing pieces in this set. 21. I remind you that this set had 238 pieces total. And I was missing 21 of them. So, the thing about these old sets when you buy them is, especially if you buy the Western sets, this brown color and this gray color are not the same color as the brown and the gray color that they currently have. So what that meant was I either would have to go and find them in my parts bin, in all of my extra parts, or I would have to order the original colors off of Bricklink. Well, fortunately, I have a lot of old sets and I have a lot of old parts because I buy bulk lots of Lego and stuff like that every once in a while, and they came with some of these old pieces. So I was actually able to find all 21 pieces that were missing, and in the same color and everything. But I was extremely disappointed. So I contacted the seller, and the seller gave me a lot of money off as a refund because she or he felt bad for me. So anyway, so I appreciate that. That means the world to me. I will probably buy from the seller again if I can guarantee that I will get what I need, or at least that they know. I have a feeling because of the parts that they lost a bag, and it just didn't get in the set. Because everything else was packed so nicely and so neatly. I just think that they lost the bag, but it was a lot of parts. I mean, a lot of, some of the gray palace are the brown Palisade bricks, some of the grays. And again, this gray is more of a yellowish gray than a light bluish gray. And so I had to find the right pieces. But the set is still the set. It is still the Bandit's Hideout, Secret Hideout, or the Runaway Mine, or the Abandoned Gold Mine, or whatever you want to call it. It's actually officially set 6761 from 1996, and it is the Bandit's Secret Hideout, but it is an awesome, awesome set. So anyway, I was able to put it together. There is one part that is actually a different color than it should be, but that is on the inside and hidden, and so you really can't see it. But everything else is true. The other thing is this person has a fedora as opposed to a cowboy hat because I couldn't find my stash of cowboy hats at the moment. So that guy is different. The other two things I could not find are in the this horse right here, which carries a safe that they've just stolen, and then a box that has a rifle in it. It comes with two corner pieces here that I did not have, and I looked everywhere for them, so I ended up having to put I was going to put a solid brick in there, but the rifle is such that you can't use it, you can't put it in the box if you have a solid brick in there. So I used the cheese slope, and what that means is that if the horse goes forward, boom, out comes the gun. So it actually is another play feature that can be used by Dewey Cheatham and Flatfoot Thompson and all that kind of stuff in some of their dealings. So anyway, so it actually worked out well that I was unable to do that. So anyway, let me show you what the set looks like now. And again, there are all kinds of reviews. I would recommend Drmcbrick because he has the best review of all of these old vintage sets on his channel, if you ask me. But so I'm not going to review it, but I am going to show it to you. And so you see the way it's set up. And basically this is the old abandoned mine that the bandits have made into a hideout. And there's several booby traps on this. First of all, they've set up kind of a makeshift Gatling gun on here with these 3 rifles, so somebody can stand up there and you could put your figs up top, and as soon as the cavalry start to come and they realize you've robbed the bank and they're coming to get you, all of a sudden we can have someone stand up here and they can start to shoot down at the cavalry and everything like that, and try to defend their hideout from the law, basically. And so anyway, so we have that feature there. We also have this nifty feature here. So for instance, if you're up here, somebody can climb up here and can come up here and twist this, and boom, a barrel rolls down. And unfortunately, it didn't do anything. It just rolled down. So there's no track or anything for the barrel to go down. So unless you have a minifigure standing in the right spot, the minifigure's probably not going to get hit. But anyway, that's kind of a cool feature right there. That's what I love about all these old sets, is they have these cool features. For instance, if the cavalry is running up to get into the bandits' hideout, you can knock the stairs out, and the stairs, that way they can't get up there, and they wouldn't be able to get up to their hideout. So that's kind of a cool feature as well. And the steps just go back on like that. Another cool feature right here is this instant barrel of cache of weapons. You can dump it out, and there's all kinds of weapons that fall out of that when you dump that out. The best feature, however, the best feature is the one that I really like, and this is what makes this set really cool. So you got Dewey Cheatham right here, right? And he's like, come on over here. And the cavalry's like, all right, you know, we know you robbed the bank, Dewey. We're going to get you and your bandits. We're going to come and get you. And so Dewey starts to take off, and just as this person crosses, this person's coming up behind him here. Just as this person crosses, they trip this wire, boom, and out comes Flatfoot Thompson with his cannon, and he's armed to the hilt. And so that is a really, really cool feature of this set. Again, a very simple mechanism. It's just those tracks right there, those old tracks. You put Flatfoot Thompson up on there, you send him back, don't want to send him back too high, or else you won't be able to do it. And then you set this, and it's basically just a couple of tiles attached to this rope. And so when you come through here, either way you come, out comes Flatfoot Thompson. Now, he doesn't come out in some spectacular way, but he comes out enough to start shooting. So anyway, so that is cool. That's one of the features that just sells it right there, I think. I love this keep out sign. And so from the front and from the side, it is really cool. Now, you use a lot of burp pieces, what we call the big ugly rock pieces. But on the inside, you see there's a poker game supposed to be going on in there, but there's nothing really there. Just a deck of cards and the dead man's hand, and there's nothing there. There's no chairs or anything like that. On the inside, you have tons of room. Now, of course, you don't want to put anything here because this is where you load up Flatfoot Thompson in the cannon, but you have this up here. You have this right here and this down here. Right now, there's just some cannonballs there for the cannon, but that should be made into something, don't you think? That should be made into something. So here is my modified Bandit's secret hideout. Now, the bandits have gone away for the evening because I needed to show you all the details that I added. Now, remember, I just used parts from my collection, but the great thing about these old West sets is that you can, they're just ripe for using parts from your old collection to modify. So just like pretty much every Lego set, you can build it to your specifications. But I wanted to keep true to form to this, so I didn't fill it all in or anything like that. I kept the backs open. But we added a few things that you might see around the hideout, like a chicken. And I think that chicken is not long for this earth, given the fact that I added a fire over here with a stew pot. And of course, I put a dog because, you know, if you were a bandit, you want to have a dog to warn you to the incoming cavalry who are going to come and try to arrest you for robbing all those banks and doing all of those bad deeds. I added some foliage up here to kind of round this off. Put a couple wagon wheels up, just kind of propped them up and things like that, just to make it look more interesting. But let's go around here. Remember how plain this was underneath of this big rock piece here. Now it's actually a nice little place for poker. So I put a couple of chairs and tried to make sure that I kept things brown and everything. I like to put stuff on jumpers, so I put the table with the cards on the jumpers. And of course, bandits probably drink a lot of water. Yeah, they drink a lot of water because they need to stay hydrated. And so anyway, there is the fire that I took right after the treehouse fire from the treehouse. And that's one of the nice things about what you can do with your collection is you can add all different types of kind of new elements that they didn't have back then. So I use those wands and those modified plates with the clip and the flame piece, just as in the big treehouse ideas set. And so anyway, so as we come back here, we notice there's bars on this window now. That was open, but those bars actually serve a purpose. And so we'll come around and I'll show you all of the great stuff that I added in here. Now remember, this was totally empty before. Now, if this were a real bandit's hideout, don't you think that they would have some supplies, for instance? And so here are some supplies. Of course, they have TNT because they have to go into Figsdale Gulch and they have to rob the banks and blow up the walls to get to the safe and everything. There's some apples that they can use while they're staying hydrated with their drinks, as you see right up there. They can climb those bars that are kind of keeping the riffraff out here. They can climb the bars and get up into a bunk because they're going to need a place to sleep. And so while several of them are watching from up top of the tower here, some of them will be bunking down here and sleeping and things like that. So there's a TNT container, there's a dynamite container, and a bunch of dynamite and things like that out there. I put another period-specific tint flame right here just to kind of have some light for the place. On top here, if you notice what I did here is I added a little bucket with a slingshot and a pistol just in case this makeshift Gatling gun doesn't work or anything like that. And again, here is a place for the main window where there is a rifle up there as well. So the sharpshooters, if they see someone coming, they can get out the window and all that sort of thing. And of course, there's the cannon as well. Another wagon wheel. I added a shovel and some pickaxes and some things like that in there. But this area right here is really what is real simple. And again, these are very simple additions to this particular kit. But it actually just, I think it adds to it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you think it adds to the original set. I tried to keep it period in terms of the pieces that I used, so I didn't use any modern fancy pieces or anything like that, just the basic dynamite pieces, apple. The TNT top is the container. I believe that's from a Minecraft set. But in terms of modern pieces, I tried to keep it, even use the same tint of brown and things like that. Oh, back here, what I did was, there was some room back here, and so I added a chest where they can put their money, their loot and things like that once they find their loot. And then I put the cannonballs on that side, because if you recall, the cannonballs, there were just 6 of them sitting right out here on this side as well. So anyway, that's basically the Bandit's hideout, secret hideout, as I interpreted it now. I don't know why I'm out of focus here, but I'll try to get back into focus. There we go. So anyway, that is what I have for my very simple modifications of this particular set. I think it just adds a little bit, it's going to make it just more, in some ways, more playable and also more interesting in Figsdale Gulch as we start to add these Western sets. So with that, please like this video if you like it. Hit that subscribe button and share this if you are so inclined. I'm going to be doing the Fort Legoredo. I'm going to be doing the bank, and I'm going to be making a saloon, and I also have the sheriff's lockup and Gold City Junction and that sort of thing. So I'm going to do most of the Western sets and just kind of embellish them a little bit, just so they look a little bit better, particularly Fort Legoredo. We're going to add a lot of stuff in all that emptiness in the middle. So with that said, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. Remember, I am a member of the BRICKTUBERS Network, and all of the BRICKTUBERS can be found in the links in the description below. And I'm also available across the socials at Drmcbrick on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Flickr, and of course at drmcbrick.com. This is Dr. McBrick signing out.